I mean, there's no way this is real, right? I mean, like, there's no way.
How about you break out those moves for your two biggest fans?
My favorite part about this is I feel like I am trapped in a time loop where we're cycling outrage over and over and over. It's kind of wild because I've covered this before, like this entire story. Asmongold is back, and you'll never believe this. He has returned to streaming, and he's going to be attacking Netflix. Yeah, you probably notice a lot of right-wingers right now are very upset at Netflix. Apparently Netflix is their latest target. Well, it's kind of an old target, but they're retargeting Netflix. They want everyone to cancel their Netflix subscriptions because Netflix is once again indoctrinating your kids with the woke.
A Netflix show CoComelon features interracial gay dads attempting to raise a baby as transgender who make the toddler dance for them in drag. I mean, there's no way this is real, right? I mean, like, there's no way. It's gotta be fake.
Thing that we know about you, you love to get up and dance. How about you break out those moves for your two biggest fans? If you're not sure what to choose, think about all the things you like to do.
My favorite part about this is they gave the black guy the Killmonger haircut. You didn't have to do that. This is how you, by the way, this hair.
My favorite part about this is I feel like I am trapped in a time loop where we're cycling outrage over and over and over. I don't want to put it upon Ian Miles Chong and suggest in any way that he's not a reliable narrator, but the fact that he made a post about this and then I saw a whole bunch of right-wingers start sharing it and get super upset about it and get really angry was kind of wild because I've covered this before. Like this entire story. I was sure of it. I was like, is this new? I had to double check it. I had to double check the date on the Asmongold video. I had to go back because Matt Walsh made a video on this already. So did like Tim Pool, all of them, all of the, like, you know, the anti-LGBTQ plus outrage farmers. They all made videos on this CoComelon thing. It already happened. 2023, December 22nd, 2 years ago. Parents outraged at Netflix show for toddlers CoComelon Lane after show has boy dance in tutu for gay dads. The cycle's already happened. Here's the video. He did this a year ago. It's time for Netflix to get the Bud Light treatment. You remember Bud Light, right? We don't have to do that whole thing again, but they know what they're doing. Yeah, and there's the couple, and there's the kid, dancing and having fun.
Here's a story you've heard before. Another popular...
It's true. I have. This is the exact thing. Why are we still doing this? Is it just because Ian Miles Chong ended up like sharing a link and then everyone was like, oh, I got to do a story on this. This is outrageous. I can't believe it.
You're a girl. Surprise. If you like, you know, if you like makeup, you're a girl. If you like wearing a dress, you're a girl. It's so interesting to me that the people who always preach about gender identity and gender being a spectrum always assume that anytime that a kid shows an interest in something of the opposite gender, that the spectrum automatically goes to trans. Isn't that interesting and weird? I think that's crazy. Why is that?
Is that in the song? Are the two dads like instantly like, hey, by the way, because you enjoy dressing in a tiara, that means that you're trans.
We know about you. You love to get up and dance. How about you break out those moves for your two biggest fans?
Where's the trans part? That's the part I don't get. It really sounds like only one side is doing this whole kind of like, you have to fit in within a very strict and rigid gender binary, or you're different. How dare you be different? How dare you? You're a little boy. You're not supposed to enjoy things like that. Dancing, music. No. It's got to be hammers, nails, trucks. You got to build stuff. That's what men do. Women like dancing and music and makeup and having fun. It's not for us men folk.
Now, before we get to the biggest and most obvious problem here, I should say that Coco Melon is one of the many shows that you should ban from your household. You should have already banned it simply because it's annoying and obnoxious and dumb.
So, I guess this whole original ban, the one that took place 2 years ago, it didn't work, and now it's got to be rehashed. Or I'm assuming maybe some people just didn't know. Like, they didn't know. Like, cause yeah, this was posted by Ian on October 1st, 2025. A Netflix show, Coco Melon, features interracial gay dads attempting to raise a baby as trans. Where's that part? It just seems like they're like, hey, why don't you go and sing some songs and dance? But let's just keep on keeping everyone angry. Who cares about healthcare or inflation or billionaires wealth hoarding? You know, the elites, the people that you were supposed to care about. Like that doesn't matter. Just stay super, super angry at a children's show for kids that you'll never watch. You're not the target audience.
Why is it that every single, like, if gender's such a massive spectrum, then why is every kid that shows an interest in something that's feminine automatically trans?
They're not. It's not in the cartoon either. You're just making that part up. You're getting upset at something that doesn't exist. Like, why get so mad about this? It's not what is in the cartoon. You're just reading what the person posted and believing them. Someone who's notorious for making really, really bad posts, by the way, and lying, and actually getting caught lying and then being like, I don't care. Like, not a reliable narrator in the slightest, okay? It's just a right-wing fucking troll. But then, you know, that is enough for you to be like, well, what the fuck? I don't get it. Why? Why, if you do that, is it automatically that you're trans?
What is this? It seems like there's a little bit of a logic gap here, right? What is that? And anyway, it's discrimination? Well, I don't know. Anyway, so this is another one here, and this is another kids show on Netflix. Let's watch this one. I don't know. Oh, it gets worse. Of course. Wow, I would have never expected that.
It's hard to know who's dangerous.
Sorry, I gotta turn down this
Yeah, I was like, I can't hear a single thing over the music.
This is really important for us to hear this dialogue. I'm sure it's going to be amazing.
It's hard to know who's dangerous or not.
I like Sailor Moon. Does that make me a girl? Yeah, it is. Go to your go talk to your doctor tomorrow, and you should start your transition immediately. Start it as soon as possible.
That's true, though disappointing.
This is also an old clip. Like, I remember covering this one as well. We're just, like, trapped in a transphobic loop here. Is it because the right have, like, total power in the United States right now? That they basically just have to rehash old outrage? They're out of outrage? Like, weren't you all celebrating this year at Pride, being like, oh my god, like, woke pride, it's corporate pride, it's dead, it's over. No rainbows on any of these companies, they're not doing it anymore, they don't give a shit, we won, we did it, yeah, we destroyed it, wokeness is dead, hell yeah, huzzah! And then it's like, all right, yeah, hurrah, you did it. But I guess, have you run out of things to hate? Well, that's okay. You could just watch the old clips. You could redo it. You can get mad at pronouns all over again. Get mad at pronouns in perpetuity.
Hey, it's okay. I know I'm safe when I'm with my friends or other non-binary people.
Non-binary?
Does anybody not see the irony in talking to a machine, a computer, and then trying to tell it that it's non-binary? Am I the only person that, like, I mean, this is like meta, it's it's not Transformer, right? I mean, no.
Wait, hold on. Does a machine have to be a boy or a girl for you to understand? That's the part, I mean, that's weird too, right? Because it's a robot, it's not a human. And so, like, I know we do this thing where we have to gender everything. I mean, just look at language, right? Spanish language, all the romantic languages, Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, all of them. Everything has to be masculine or feminine. They have to be, you know? La terre, le monde, all that kind of stuff. Or is it le monde, la terre? Oh God, I don't want to fuck that up. But if it's a robot, why is that the scariest thing in the world? A robot might not fit into a rigid gender binary. Why are you getting mad about that? It's a kid's cartoon.
No, okay, being trans and being non-binary are two different things. That's different. And so yeah, I don't know, like that's crazy to me. But anyway, let's look at this.
People who aren't.
He's talking about binary and ones and zeros. That's true. I mean, that is how machines work. And so, oh, they did it. They destroyed Netflix. This is what happens, says Rob Schneider, by the way. This is what happens when your company goes full R-slur. Netflix is down $30 today. Got him. Destroyed. How could you? You destroyed the company. That's unbelievable. The mass cancellation of Netflix is happening thanks to Elon Musk. Keep it going. Hell yeah. They did it. Is this because you're all jealous about the whole Jimmy Kimmel thing? Like, is that what's happening here? I don't know if you know this, but all the libs, they were really upset about the entire idea of the government forcing a corporation to get rid of a comedian who might be making fun of their favorite podcaster or might be making fun of their president. You know, the pedophile president, the guy who's all over the Epstein files and wants to cover them, that guy. So they're really upset about that. And these are the same people who are talking about protecting kids, by the way. I mean, why not want to go after, I don't know, those who are trying to cover up the Epstein files right now? But I digress. It turns out a lot of liberals were really upset about that. And yeah, I mean, some estimates showed that it was over, like, I saw something like 10 million people canceled their subscriptions to Disney Plus, which, by the way, shouldn't you be celebrating? Isn't that what you wanted to do, but you just couldn't pull it off? Like, you were all saying Disney's woke. We have to take down Disney. It's woke. And then I guess you couldn't destroy it, and so you moved on. And then all of a sudden it was Netflix. Netflix is woke. Let's destroy it. This was 2 years ago, and then you couldn't do it. But you're getting this time for sure. You're going to destroy these companies.
To teach kids trigonometry whenever they don't understand multiplication, or they don't even understand.
The other thing that's kind of fucked up is, like, the people who are feeding you this stuff, Asmongold, have you ever looked at what they believe? Because I think this is kind of fucked up. This is the same person who posted it, Ian Miles Chong. Redditors should be allowed to perv on 12-year-old girls on r/jailbait without being called out by Anderson Cooper. February 8th, 2013. Another post, stupid sexy babies, they bring it on themselves. Another post. Well, why not? A good number of people in the sex register are only there because of draconian age and consent laws. Yikes. Yikes. Massive ass yikes there. But these are the people that you're supposed to believe are looking to protect kids. Yeah, they really care about the welfare of children. Seems like it. I don't know.
Adding and subtracting is a certain gender ideology. Like it's a fundamentally very weird thing. And I think it's also like just really like, you know, parents need to be having this conversation with a kid. You know, like a school needs to be having this type of conversation with a kid. Like there's a reason why interactions with children about sexual topics are so highly controversial, taboo, and limited, right? It's like if you're a teacher and you're teaching
you know, the numbers are tough sometimes, so I wanted to look at Netflix and see how they've been doing, because if we look at the one-day trend, obviously, it seems like, oof, it's a little bit in the red. You're right. You've destroyed the company. It's down $8. How does that compare, though, overall to the year? Because we should actually, like, you know, extend this a little bit. What's the year difference? What the hell? That's weird. So this time last year compared to now, they're up 64.48%. That's plus $455 per share. That's wild. Weird. Well, don't worry. You'll get them eventually. It's definitely the way to take down these massive corporations, is just randomly recycle outrage from 2 years ago.
Kids this, you have to go through a bunch of different, like, you have to be a teacher. Obviously it's hard to do. There's a lot of oversight for this. There's like a ton of people talking about how to do it in the right way. And so when you just take all of that and you ignore it and you just make a TV show and you just say, hey, if you were addressed, you're a girl, I think that you're kind of skipping a lot of steps there, right? And yeah, schools should not. I think that schools should do sex education, and I think that schools probably should teach kids at least about being gay, like that it happens and that it exists.
That it happens. Oh God, I think I'm experiencing a gay. What? You experienced a gay? Well, don't worry. We're here to talk to you about that. Sometimes some of us can have a gay, right? Like just a little feeling that's inside you. Don't worry. As long as you follow Christ and, you know, do the proper procedures, go to a torture camp or something like that, you can undo those feelings. If it happens, so happens. But that's the extent of it that we can talk about. Nothing else. Anything else is, you know, indoctrination.
Like I'm not saying that like for them to say like, oh yeah, like if you've ever, you know, liked a guy a lot and you're a guy, it means that you're automatically gay. But they should teach, like, I think school, it's the same, I think schools should teach about sexuality. I think they should teach about religion, because I think schools, their responsibility is to prepare.
Right. If this is your feeling, which by the way might be controversial, not held by, I would say, a lot of right-wingers right now, then why is the idea of a children's cartoon that features two gay dads singing a song to their kid where the kid is like, I want to wear a tiara. Okay. I want to sing and dance. Okay. Nothing in that clip, by the way, was sexual. There was nothing sexual at that clip. That was just a little kid who wanted to enjoy dressing up. That's what kids do. They play dress up. There wasn't anything trans about that clip. The kid was not like, I want to explore my gender identity because I feel that when I was labeled as a boy as a kid, that was not correct because I believe that I'm a girl. And the dads are like, oh, okay, we didn't know that. You're probably trans. That's why we now have to dress you up as a girl so that you fit the rigid gender stereotypes in the opposite direction. That's not at all what happened. It's like this little silly song about like, do you like to sing? Sure I do. Well, maybe we can sing together and dance too. And then everyone's like, da 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 da. And then now all these weirdos online are like, this is indoctrination into trans ideology if ever I've seen it.
Prepare a kid for the real world, right? Like that's the job that a school is supposed to fulfill. So a school should teach a kid about Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism.
Wait, what? We are so far from the original topic now. Why should a school teach kids Christianity? Hey, no, I'm not saying just Christianity. All of them. They should be teaching them all the religions. Yeah, what grade are we talking about here? I mean, also, you know, coloring, like maybe some early math. How to read would probably be good for kids and early education.
Right? And it should teach kids about, you know, being straight, being gay, different types of like race stuff. It should teach kids about, you know, the Holocaust, about World War II, about different genocides. It should.
Is this a bit? I'm like trying to read the chat right now because, like, you know, the chat is like, seems reasonable. Okay. True. Yep, true. Seems reasonable. 100%. Yeah, or, you know, how to draw within the lines, crayons, rhyme schemes, that kind of, I don't know, what grade are we talking about here? At what age is it totally fine for you to teach children about the Holocaust, World War II, other genocides? That's all fine and good. But wearing a tiara is indoctrination, apparently? I think we should teach kids about all religions, about Christianity, about Islam, about Judaism, all right? I think we should be teaching them about the Holocaust. I think we should be teaching them about World War II, war crimes, genocide. But I draw the line if they're going to explain to them what a trans person is. No, not in my America.
Teach kids about all this of communism, Soviet.
This is one hell of a curriculum. I mean, gotta be honest, in grade 2, I was not exposed to this stuff.
Russia, everything, because that's what you need in order to have an informed citizen who can vote in a way that is beneficial for a country, right? That's what I would say. Okay, that's my fucking opinion. I know some people might disagree, but that's where I'm at. And so that's it, true brother. But I think it's a matter of degree and order and age, right? Because teaching kids about this at 7 is very different than teaching them about it at 17. I mean, this is a very obvious truth that everybody knows. And so, yeah, that's about it. And
that's why there's a curriculum that's usually tailored to age and grade. In an ideal society, would build upon what you had learned previously in the age prior, and also trying to adjust it to be age appropriate, that kind of stuff. again, like the problem here that you're taking is that these cartoons in these examples have both explained pronouns and what someone who is non-binary is, and in the other instance, it's two dads who are dancing, and the kid has to decide whether he wants to put on, again, a tiara or a hat, and decides to put this on. But there's no implication beyond that, just like some kids want to play with different kinds of toys. I think that's also okay, right? Like, why should we be forcing a kid to have to play with a certain kind of toy? Doesn't that sound like you're trying to force them into some kind of a gender stereotype? Like, if a little boy wants to play with, like, the toy trucks or the toy cars, or dare I say, even the fake plastic, tool set, okay. Who's on the other side of that? Being like, no, how dare you? No, you need to be more feminine. Yeah, I am upset about this. Oh, no, this is not woke. This is not liberal, progressive. But in the other direction, there is a lot of problems. Apparently, if a little boy is just like, I wouldn't mind playing with something else. Maybe I like the dolls. Maybe I like all the things that I'm supposed to not like. But what's wrong with that? In either direction. Like, the whole point of the cartoon is that the kid makes the choice. I remember this because, again, I covered this 2 years ago. And this is not an educational curriculum. It's just a cartoon that a parent can choose if they want to put on for their children. It's Netflix. The kids, like, the parents could watch something else entirely. If you're like, I don't think this is appropriate for my kids. All right. You have 5,000 other options that you could put on that you think are more appropriate for your child. You know? You don't have to watch this one. You're not being forced to do anything within, like, a rigid school curriculum. And again, the purpose of it is choice. Make the choice that you want. The choice is yours.
Year-olds and up. Now, I'm not sure why a 7-year-old needs to be introduced to trans ideology.
Me either.
It's not trans ideology. What are you all talking about? Again, you have some weird, I don't know, anti-trans mind virus that everything you see is through a lens of, is this trans? Are you teaching my child to be trans? Are you teaching other children to be trans? No, not in that clip. Again, it was just that a little kid can make a choice, and they should be allowed to choose what they want to play with. I don't think it's a very controversial lesson. You know, I don't think it's a really insulting one either. I didn't think people would get so mad about this. And then mad about it again 2 years later. Elon Musk, cancel Netflix for the health of your kids. Everyone is just stuck in the same fucking culture warrior loop. It's just the same shit over and over and over again. I mean, why ever talk about the fact that Elon Musk as well was just revealed to be in the Epstein files, apparently flying to Epstein Island on December 6, 2014? Why ever bring that up? I mean, that sounds like someone who might be potentially a danger to children. If he was either traveling to a prolific pedophile island where there was human trafficking going on and the sexual abuse of children, that's really fucked up. Or the other version, his version of events, where that never happened. He was invited, but he said no because he knew better and decided to tell no one. Absolutely no one. No one at all. Yeah. Yeah, no, I didn't want to go. Why didn't you want to go? Oh, because of the prolific child rape that was going on and the human trafficking of children. Then the world's most rich and powerful people traveling there to, again, traffic and rape children. Yeah, I didn't want to be a part of that. Yeah, okay. Did you tell anyone about that? Because that's also pretty fucked up and bad, right? That you knew about it and that's why you didn't want to go, and that's why you were kind of like, yikes. And so instead you were just like, nah.
And it's also like a lot of parents, it's not even that parents don't like want their kids to know about this at all. It's that they want to be the ones that talk to their kids about this, not like.
This is a network. They can still do that. A parent who's watching content with their children that they suddenly deem is inappropriate for their kids to watch can turn it off, can pause it, could even change to an entirely different show. They would have the ability to do that. Like, you're acting as if this is being forced upon people against their will. Whereas, again, I'm sure you've used Netflix before or have a friend who has. You understand you get to pick what you watch. It's not like a TV channel which then you would even have a better argument, right? If this was traditional cable, you could be like, I basically thought that my kid would be watching Sesame Street, which is usually on between this hour and this hour, but then I looked over at the television and there was some show that featured the gay, and then as soon as I saw the gay, I was very, very terrified, and I didn't want my kid to have to experience that, so I immediately had to look away and then watch something else. It was very, very terrifying. Okay, in this case, again, a parent could be like, I don't want to watch this, and you have the power to do that. You can choose. So they haven't destroyed Netflix yet, but I think they're working on it. This is all that Elon Musk has been tweeting about all day, by the way, because again, you know, these things kind of just come in waves and cycles, and then apparently they just get completely repeated. I was covering this original story again, I thought like 2 years ago, but here we are. Has Elon Musk successfully gotten rid of Netflix? Oh, he's retweeting Grums. Good day for Grums. Get those likes and views up. Yep, Grums. Which is weird also. Like, all the people who they promote or talk about or are the sources are themselves massive creeps and weirdos, right? Like Ian Miles Chong, tons of like pedo statements that are very, very yikesy. Elon Musk may have actually traveled to Epstein Island. That's really bad. Grums, he's got his own fucking forced sexual assault, breast milking porn ring that he may have been funding through all the crowdfunding that he did for a video game that he never made. Also, like, supremely weird. I just want to say I haven't watched Netflix in months, and for some reason it took all day to get into my account just to cancel it. I guess I'm done. Elon Musk was retweeting this. But I got it done. I'm never going back. You should too. We've canceled our memberships. Okay. I mean, you know, Godspeed to all of you. May you take down the horrifying corporations one by one. I don't feel like you're all going to be dedicated to this cause. I feel like tomorrow there'll be some new outrage cycle from 2 years ago that all of you can rehash and get really upset about. Charlie Jimmy, thank you for the 18 months. From my experience, it's absolutely that parents don't want kids to know about this stuff. Those conversations never happen, then it causes problems. I mean, that was one of the beautiful things about people like, again, Mr. Rogers or Sesame Street. Like, Mr. Rogers was actually, I believe was he a child psychologist, or at least he like used the teachings of child psychology to understand what would be the best way to be able to teach and educate children, because like he actually cared. He actually wanted to improve, like, you know, the quality of life for kids, which is a pretty incredible thing, right? I think, like, you know, it's the same thing with Miss Rachel. I think like Lindsay Ellis just put out a really good documentary on both Miss Rachel and Mr. Rogers is in it as well, just talking about how, like, you can tell that Miss Rachel actually legitimately cares about child welfare and actually about child education, and that this is not a simple thing as like you can just put a kid in front of a TV and then hope after an hour of watching songs and stuff that they're actually learning anything. There's a lot that actually goes into actually preparing content that's going to be beneficial to a child's mind and stuff like that. He was a Presbyterian minister. That's not quite what I was looking for, but they don't get it too bad. I can't do it. I think he had a degree. Well, let's learn. We can learn too. Learning isn't just for children. Fred Rogers. Better known as Mr. Rogers, he was a Presbyterian minister and an author. He was the creator and showrunner of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood University. He attended the University of Pittsburgh's Graduate School of Child Development, where he began his 30-year collaboration with child psychologist Margaret McFarland. There it is. So he actually collaborated with a child psychologist. He also helped develop children's shows Children's Corner for WQED in Pittsburgh and Mr. Rogers in Canada for the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. In 1968, he returned to Pittsburgh and adapted the format of his Canadian series to create Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. It ran for 33 years and was critically acclaimed for focusing on children's emotional and psychological or physical concerns such as death, sibling rivalry, school enrollment, and divorce. He seems like a good person. I don't want someone to be like, oh, do I have some stories for you? There's some really fucked up shit from the past that you have no idea about. It's like, oh, great.
Thank you so much for watching, everyone. This video wouldn't be at all possible without the financial support of all the people whose names you see on the screen right now. And if you want to unlock secret bonus episodes, content that we can't post anywhere else, or get the videos early before anyone else gets to see them, please go on to patreon.com/theserfs. For as little as $1, you can help support this channel and help make more videos like this possible. Our executive producers are Anna Loves Riley, Adrian McCarthy, Bobby Lasers, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Garrett Sandoval, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Papi, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Richard Boehm, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Tigwig, Trav, and Words Greenwood. And also, it wouldn't be possible without all the names you see on the screen right now. Again, if you want to help produce this content, it's only made possible through the funding of our patrons.